All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're cracking open an advanced problem-solving toolkit. We're going to go way beyond the standard business school stuff and explore some really powerful frameworks. These are the tools that help leaders and consultants like you solve those messy, complex, and honestly, sometimes impossible feeling problems. Ready? Let's get into it. You know the feeling, right? You've got this huge challenge, you get the whole team together, you're all staring at a whiteboard, probably after another brainstorming session, and you're just coming up with the same tired ideas. It's frustrating. But listen, when your go-to playbook isn't working anymore, that's not on you. It just means you need a better set of tools. Look, the world we operate in now is just way more complex, way more uncertain. So to get ahead, we have to think differently. We have to move beyond that straight line A to B thinking. So, what we're going to do here is give you a kind of strategic overview of a much more sophisticated set of tools, and we've grouped them into different drawers of a mental toolkit.
So our first drawer is all about diagnosis, because you can't just jump in and start fixing things. First, you have to really understand what kind of problem you're even looking at. Is it a simple machine with a broken part, or is it a tangled living ecosystem? These tools are all about helping you see the situation clearly before you make a single move.
You know, probably the biggest mistake we make in problem solving is just treating the symptoms. It's like taking a painkiller for a broken bone. Think about that one operational issue that just keeps coming back, or that team that's always putting out fires. These frameworks help you zoom out and see the bigger picture, to understand the deep-down dynamics that are actually creating the problem. And what's so cool is how these tools can build on each other. So, for example, you might use the theory of constraints to find that one single bottleneck that's just choking your entire process. Great, but then you could use the sign-even framework and realize, wait a minute, the reason for that bottleneck isn't some simple mechanical issue, it's actually a complex cultural problem. And that insight points you straight to second-order solving. Now, you're not just trying to fix the machine, you're trying to change the team's whole mindset about how work gets done. See the difference? It's a tactical fix versus a total strategic transformation. Okay, so a sharp diagnosis is absolutely essential, but it doesn't actually build the solution for you. Once you get what's really going on with the system, how do you come up with an answer that isn't just a stale repeat of what you've done before? Well, this next drawer in our toolkit is all about generating truly fresh, groundbreaking ideas. This right here is such a critical idea for anyone who wants to innovate. Arguing by analogy is what most companies do. It's, well, our competitor did this, so we should do a slightly different version of it. It's just playing catch-up. But first principles thinking, the kind Elon Musk is famous for, asks a totally different question. What is the absolute, fundamental truth here? So for batteries, the question wasn't, how do we make our batteries 5% better? It was, what are batteries made of, and what's the rock-bottom price for those materials on the open market? That line of thinking, that's what leads to revolutions, not just tiny revisions. And this is where it gets really fun, because you can pull inspiration from anywhere. Beyond first principles, you've got biomimicry. I mean, why not look to nature's 3.8 billion years of R&D? You see this with architects who design self-cooling buildings by copying termite mounds. Then there's exaptation, which is a wild idea from evolution. It's basically finding a brilliant new job for something you already have. The classic example is Viagra. It was developed for a heart condition, but they discovered it was way more effective for something else. It's all about looking at your existing tools and assets and seeing a completely new potential. Okay, so you've diagnosed the system, and you've got a way to come up with a genuinely new solution. But what happens when the world does what it always does and throws a massive curveball your way? This third drawer has the tools to help you not just survive, but actually get stronger in those volatile, chaotic environments. Now, this requires a huge mental shift. We're usually taught to build things to be resilient, to resist a shock and bounce back. But what if you could build a business or a team or a product that actually gets stronger from randomness and stress, that actually benefits when the unexpected happens? And that's the core idea right here, anti-fragility. It's a term from the author Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and it's the true opposite of fragile. Think about your own immune system. When it's exposed to a germ, it doesn't just survive, it learns and gets stronger for the next time. An anti-fragile company doesn't just get through a market crash, it learns, adapts, and comes out the other side with a huge competitive advantage. So how do you actually do this stuff? Well, effectuation theory kind of flips the usual script. It says, don't start with a big goal and then hunt for the resources. Start with the resources you actually have right now and see what amazing new goals you can create. And probabilistic decision-making gets you out of the trap of needing to be 100% right. Instead, you start making smart bets based on the odds, and you learn and adapt as you go. This is how you lead when you literally can't know what's coming next. So we've looked at tools for diagnosis, for creation, and for thriving when things get crazy. But these frameworks aren't just a random list of techniques. When you start using them together, they build a totally different and way more powerful mindset for being a leader today. And here's the real takeaway. Adopting these frameworks actually changes the way you see the world. You stop seeing problems as these isolated little things and start seeing them as interconnected systems. You start looking at uncertainty and complexity not as threats to avoid, but as sources of opportunity. You get comfortable pulling in ideas from biology or philosophy or wherever they might be. And every single action you take becomes less about finding that one single perfect answer and more about running an experiment in a continuous cycle of learning and evolving. And that really just says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just a new set of buzzwords to throw around. It's a deep philosophical shift. It's about moving away from those rigid, top-down, we can predict everything models of the past, and moving toward a more fluid, more adaptive, and ultimately a much more effective way to lead and solve problems in the world we live in now. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this one question. Think about that really tough challenge, the one that's been sitting on your desk that everyone says is unsolvable. Now, with this bigger, better toolkit in your mind, which one of those impossible problems actually looks like an exciting new opportunity, just waiting for you to unlock it? Thanks for joining us.